You knocked my friend out.
Who?
Christian Pumbu.
Oh,
That's what you say now.
Where'd you knock him out?
I think that was my first fight in Bellator.
Oh yes,
Pumbu.
Yeah, Pumbu.
Yeah, hey,
That's your boy.
Yeah.
That was your boy. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
So when I get in Paris in the gym, and then we just connect, and that was like my friend at the gym, like friend.
I don't know. I figured he was a good guy, but you know what he did? It was me. I left the UFC. The UFC, I left a bad taste in my mouth. They stole my Reebok sponsor. So I left them. So I'm going to go to Bellator. I was like one of the first UFC fighters to go to Bellator. And I'm like, this is like a new journey for me. I'm already older as a fighter. And I'm like feeling some type of way. You got plenty of years before you feel like this. Trust me, when you've been fighting for a long time, I've been fighting for 25 years now. So I already knew like, I'm going against Father Time, which he's undefeated. And then I'm going over here to Bellator, and this guy, I don't know him. I didn't watch Bellator. He was talking about he's going to retire me, and I normally like you said, like with Tyson, to sell the fight and stuff, and I like to talk shit, but that one I took personally.
Yeah.
My first time, I took it personal. I'm like, this motherfucker say he's going to retire me, and I never fight with like a lot of emotion and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think I had lost my last fight to Glover Teixeira or whatever. So it's like, man, this guy said the wrong. But it motivated me to train really hard and everything, and that's what I was missing. I needed that.
That motivation.
Yeah, I needed that. That
makes sense.
feeling. But you
you
knocked out my friend.
Are you saying thank you to Christian Pumbu for motivating you?
Yeah, thank you. I got a bone to pick with you. Knocked out my friend, Alice Overeem.
Yeah, sometimes shit happens.
He did the Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Man, Alistair, we've been friends since Pride.
Really?
Yeah.
We just had him on the podcast. He talked about the fight. Was that one of your probably like your first breakout fights? You feel like that was a fight that put you on the map?
No, I mean, it definitely like hurt me a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's not like one fight get you on the map. It's progressive.
Yeah.
Like you do one fight, I'm like, this guy. Like my first fight in the UFC, like Dana White tweeted on me. I'm like, okay, I think this thing gonna be good. And that's get a lot of attention. And it was fight after fight. And Alistair Overeem, I think, was my number 6 fight in the UFC. Right after Arlovski. So even Arlovski was the first round knockout in Denver. So I was having some good fight like that.
Yeah, you had a lot of good fights, a lot of good knockouts.
His highlight reel is incredible. How did you get linked with the UFC? How'd you get in the UFC?
Okay. So I was in Paris training, just training, looking my way to boxing, like, oh man, what can I do? And I'm in this gym. They say, oh, we're gonna do this. You know how boxing works.
Yeah.
People always promise you stuff. And I'm training MMA, and everybody, even my friend that I'm talking, that I was saying earlier, DJ Carmon, he was like, if you do, he was a guy that told me about MMA the first time. It's like, oh, you have a good boxing. If you do some wrestling and jiu-jitsu, you're going to be a UFC champion. I'm like, what's MMA? Start to explain. I'm like, cool. And then what's UFC? Start to explain everything. Like, bro, leave me alone with that dude. Man. So, long story short, fast forward, I'm 2 years after, I'm in the UFC. And by the time I know Christian Pumbu, we were training together at CrossFight, which is now MMA Factory. And then one day I had a call. I was in Belgium. I'm like, oh, you have a UFC contract. Like, really? Say yes. Okay. So in my mind, I wasn't like going after a UFC. I wasn't going, that wasn't my goal. But I'm like, man, this might be that opportunity. At the end of the day, you're a professional fighter and you can become a world champion. So how about we get dedicated into this, And I think that was when I really started to train seriously in MMA. I remember my first fight was in Orlando back in 2015. And I was in the locker room and I'm going to fight this guy, Enrique. And, you see the promo, they say, Enrique is like Luis Enrique. He's this, he's a black belt jiu-jitsu. But nobody told me that he was a wrestler for the Olympic team in Brazil.
Wow.
And then that's what they say about him. But me, I'm just a strong guy. That's all what I get.
That's how they promoted you?
That's it. There's nothing to say. But I have some hands, so can knock somebody up.
Yeah.
And that was all. And then I'm getting there. I'm look at this guy. They tell all this about him. I just started MMA 2 years ago. Like, man, how this work? I was in the locker room thinking of what's the rules again? If you get here and you do this, is that legal? What should I do and what should I not do? I was in the locker room, But, you have your fighting spirit, you have your ego. I'm like, okay, this guy might know everything. He might be jiu-jitsu black belt. He might be this and that. But come on, man, look at him, look at me. I'm a tough motherfucker. If he comes to fight, I'm going to fight. I don't know how it's going to go, but I can fight. Let's go fight. That's all what I get.